So can we just have a moment of honesty? How many of you know that you have gifts, you have talents, you have potential, you have things that are burning on the inside of you that are telling you that it's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to get undistracted. It's time for you to focus. It's time for you to put your gifts and your talents to use, but you know that you are still giving it your bare minimum. I want you to know that your bare minimum is no longer enough. It's time for you to exceed beyond your own expectations of yourself. You've become content with where you are. You know that it is so much that God has called you to do. You know that it's time for you to do it, but yet you continue to make excuses. You tell yourself you don't have enough time. After you work your 9 to 5 job and you come home to your children and you do everything that you have to do, you always say there is not enough time in the day. But how many of you know that you scroll hours and hours and hours on social media when that's the time that you can be using to put your gifts to work? God told us that our gifts will make room for us, but He also told us that faith without work is dead. How many times are you going to pray and you're going to ask God to bless you and to take you out of poverty and to just give you an increase at that job, or give you an increase in your bank account, or just give you a blessing in disguise? But how many are you can really say that you are really putting the work in order for you to receive an overflow? How do you expect for God to give you something if He's already giving you gifts and talents that you just continue to not put to use? We always pray and we ask God to give us more, but what are you doing with the little that He has given you? Are you using your gifts? The things that you know that you are capable of doing, are you doing that? Before He can bless you with so much, He's going to give you a little at a time to see what you're going to do with that little. And then He's going to increase your territory. But if you're not putting the work in, if you're not putting yourself forth, if you're not taking that step and that leap of faith, how can you expect for Him to pour into your cup when you are giving it the bare minimum? It's almost a new year. So I want you to know that it is time out for you to put it on the end. It's time out for you to make excuses. It's time out for you to say you got tomorrow, because the truth is we don't know when our last day is here, and we have to get to a point where we are tired and we are telling ourselves the bare minimum is no longer enough. I love to listen to E.T., the hip-hop preacher, and he always speaks this, and he always say, you gotta want it as bad as you breathe. You gotta want this thing as bad as you want to breathe. So every day you wake up, you have to remember it is somebody somewhere that needs the gifts and the talents that you have been giving. You are on an assignment from God. This is not just about money. This is about the assignment that is attached to your life that money has the willpower to help you get to. It's not just about making the money so that you can look good and so that you can have all these nice fancy things. Those things will come, yes. But it's about the purpose. It's about putting your gifts to use so that God can get the glory from behind the things that He is giving you. It's about starting your LLC so that your LLC can make room for your gifts to become non-profits, so that you're able to pour into others. You're able to help the world to be changed to be a better place. It's about helping those that are less fortunate. It's about using your gifts and your talents so that God can use you to help bless others. This is so much bigger than us. It is so much bigger than just saying I'm rich or I'm wealthy or I can travel and I can spend money on materialistic things. And once you change your mindset to know that you are on an assignment from God, you will continue to do the bare minimum. You have to begin to treat this as if it is your purpose, and treat it as if you have a destiny. This is your calling from God. The thing that you continue to see, that vision that he gives you, that thing that is burning within you to tell you that enough is enough, that is God telling you that it is time. The voice that you continue to hear within your head, the feeling that you continue to fight every time you clock into that 9-to-5 job, those are the things that God will use in order to get your attention. You keep telling yourself you are tired. You continue to talk about the things that you are going through. You continue to feel undefeated because every time you take a step forward, you feel like you have gotten knocked 10 steps back. But I want you to know that it's time for you to stop treating this as if you are not called by God. God said that you are a royal priesthood and you have been chosen to break the poverty cycles off your life. The bare minimum, you guys, is no longer enough. We are getting ready to go into 2025. And I want you to go in 2025 with expectations of receiving an overflow from God. I want you to go expecting the move of God. But I also want you to go in 2025 with a plan. God said to write the vision and to make it plain. Because that vision that you have, it is for an appointed time. But if you don't write it, if you continue to sit on it, God will only make you wait on the blessing, on the things that you are praying for. Yes, he gives us the vision. Yes, he is capable of doing and giving, and we're able to receive these things from him. But at the same time, he also said that faith without works is dead. So you have to get up every day and you have to put in the work. So going into 2025, I want you guys to write the vision and I want you to make it plain. I want you to write down the things that God has spoken to you, no matter how big or how small. Write these things down. And every day you need to look at this and you need to say, enough is enough. I'm tired of the bare minimum. You have to come up with an action plan. And you also have to make sure that you are putting actions behind that plan. Every day when you get off your 9-to-5 job, just put in 30 minutes. If you can, put in an hour, but at least give it 30 minutes every single day doing something within your business, doing something using your gifts and your talents. If you don't know what your gifts and your talents are, write down a list of things that you know how to do. A lot of things normally just comes to you naturally. Those can be gifts. Those are things that God gave you. Use them. A lot of times people feel like it's not a gift or it's not a calling because you're not able to use it the way that you think you should use it, or you don't know how to operate within it. But that does not mean that it's not a gift or a talent from God. You have to write the things down that you know how to do. Even if people are always coming to you with a problem, write it down. Write how you're helping people. When you think of your gifts and you think of your talents, it's going to be ways that are helping others. So if you don't know what your gifts or what your talents is, or the purpose that you were created for, just write down a list of things that you know how to do. Write down things that people ask you all the time for advice on. So once you have written your list down, you then want to decide which one of these things on this list is something that you can see yourself talking about, something that excites you, something that drives you every single day, something that you can talk about without making money. Because when you first start within your business, you may not just start out making thousands and thousands of dollars, but you still have to be willing to put the work in. Even if you show up on social media every single day and no one say anything, if you don't get any views or anything, you still have to be willing to show up until you see those results. So I want you to write that list down, and I want you to choose on that list what is something that you are willing to go every single day for the next 90 days talking about on social media. You don't have to do this by just showing your face like I'm doing. You can create a faceless channel and you can still put the work in. You can use voiceovers. You can use Canva by creating faceless content and then putting words on the screen. If you need assistance with that, you know I already have bundles that have been created with faceless content that you can use as your own. But whatever you choose on this list, make sure it is something that you can talk about over and over and over again without getting tired, without getting burnt out. And I know you're probably saying, where am I going to come up with 90 days worth of content? You want to use ChatGPT. You guys, we have AI. Take advantage of these things. Go on ChatGPT and ask it to give you a 90-day content calendar plan for whatever your niche is. Whatever topic you're going to talk about, put that in. Use this as a way for you to brainstorm. Go on YouTube, go on Google, and look at things that people are searching within that niche. If you are trying to be a fitness girl, or if you know that you're a credit guru, or you fixed your own credit, make sure that you put this in on ChatGPT and ask it to give you ideas. This stuff does not have to be complicated, you guys. You do not have to know everything. All you have to do is be willing to start. The bare minimum is not enough. You can't continue to make excuses for yourself. You can't say that you don't have content, or you don't have ideas, or you don't look pretty enough to show up on camera. You can do this without showing up on camera. There are literally no excuses. If you want to go faceless, I have a bundle where you can get 1,600 done for you faceless reels, so that you're able to use this as content for yourself. You have access to that, as well as it gives you about 10 ebooks to learn how to use this to your advantage. Don't make excuses for yourself. If you do not have the funds to purchase that, go on Canva. Go on Canva and create you some waterfalls and add captions and things onto that, so that you're able to create content. Give out free valuable information around the niche and the topic that you choose. But stop making excuses. Enough is enough. Or on this journey, you have to decide. Either you're going to go forward, or you're going to stay stuck and stagnant, or you're going to go back to what's familiar to you. The choice is yours. We can't continue to say that we've prayed, but yet we're not willing to put the work in. We can't say that we're waiting on God, because most times God is waiting on us. Most times he has already given you the idea. You are just too fearful to step forward and to go in faith, knowing that it has already been done for you. If he gave you the vision, don't you know that he has the action plan behind it? But you have to be willing to take the first step. He's not going to just drop it into your lap. You have to be willing to go out and get it. How bad do you want this? How sick and tired are you of being broke, of living in poverty, of seeing everybody on social media win, knowing that you can do the same thing? Most of the things that we see on social media are the same things that we can do, literally. You guys, people are literally making content, traveling, eating, just reviewing different places. Like, this stuff is not rocket science. I always look at Beloved and I just see how she made it just from eating seafood, you guys. Sitting in front of a camera, eating seafood. Now this lady has her own brand. This lady literally makes $1 million just from being on YouTube eating seafood. There's no telling how much more she's making from her own products that she's selling. This is not rocket science. Do not overcomplicate this. Look at someone who is in your niche and decide, this is what I want to do too. You can go on Instagram, you can get here on YouTube, and you can look and see what people are doing in the same niche that you are thinking about going into, and get inspiration from them. You do not have to recreate the wheel. Go on there, see the kind of videos that they are making, see the questions that people are asking, and make content around these things. In order to get people to view your stuff, you have to be willing to educate for free, or you have to be willing to entertain and grasp people's attention. So you have to just choose and decide. But go on someone else's page. You can choose multiple pages that you want to go on and look at, and choose different things that they are doing. See how they are producing content, and then add this to your list of things of how you're going to do it. You can also just put your own twist and spin on it. If you know that you are good at talking to people and being on camera, and you are okay and comfortable with it, get on camera and talk about it. Give the knowledge. Answer the questions that people have asked in the recent comments of the other people's videos. Put topics around that topic. If you choose to not be on camera, just find ways for you to incorporate using AI videos so that you can create multiple videos, so that you can still create content. Whatever you decide to do, make sure you stop giving it your bare minimum, because your bare minimum is not enough. So I hope this video inspires you to go ahead and to get focused, and to take at least 30 minutes to an hour every single day, giving it your all. Every single day for the next 90 days, I want you guys to push yourself. I want you to stop telling yourself you can't and start telling yourself that you can. Stop making excuses, because in the next 90 days, who's to say what is going to happen? 90 days, you guys. Give it your all, and let's see what God does. Because I'm proclaiming that in the next 90 days of being consistent, of putting the work in, of no longer accepting the bare minimum, I'm proclaiming that God is going to blow our minds, and He's going to explode beyond our own expectations. But first, choose that you're going to make this decision, and that you're not going to settle for the bare minimum. Enough is enough.